how many degrees of freedom does a person have? Can they put their attention where they want to put their attention? And you're making the point that this medication seems to increase their capacity to put their attention where they want to put their attention. For some reason or other, I'm reminded of Bill O'Hanlon, the author that you mentioned to me earlier today, and he said, so why is cocaine so addictive? Or why is cocaine so pleasurable? It's because there's a biochemical deficit of cocaine in the brain, and you know, take a little cocaine and you top that up, and you're fine, you're normal again. I mean, that's the narrative that's used to sell antidepressants. Why is it used to sell antidepressants, but it's not a legitimate story to sell cocaine? What's the difference between the two? It's the same narrative, only if cocaine makes you feel great, antidepressants stop you from dwelling on something. Well, I could say, well, cocaine sort of distracts me away from things that I should be concerned about.
Yeah.
And maybe antidepressants distract me from things that I should be concerned about. I should be concerned about what's happening to our planet, what's happening in the economic meltdown, what happens with climate change and things. I feel so helpless around those issues that I start to panic, and then I become disorganized and ineffective. So give me some medication, doc, and then I'll be able to rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the history of medicine. Often is tied in with the military. I mean, cocaine was initially used in the military. Yes, you're going to march longer and harder. It is a performance-enhancing drug. If it's the case that antidepressants reduce dwelling, then you could say it's performance-enhancing then. And it's all short-term gain. That, oh yeah. But in the long term, you're going to deteriorate. That in the long term, that's not the solution. That there's an element of, I think that the spirit that you're getting to is like, well, what can I do to address more of the core about what this is about, rather than just a band-aid or symptomatic relief? Okay.
I'm saying two things. You've picked up on one of them and one I haven't said yet, and that is, how do I increase my degree of freedom in placing my attention where I want to place it without the aid of cocaine or an antidepressant? And the only thing that I've been able to come up with is meditation and yoga. That when I do meditation and yoga, it's sort of a lot like going to the gym. When I go to the gym, I build up my physical muscles. When I meditate or do yoga, I build up my mental muscle. So I have more choice. A thing that would formerly disturb me and take me over or colonize me, a fear that might colonize me, having done the discipline of meditating or yoga, I can say I have some choice about whether I let it take me over or not. Here's the other thing, is that if I take a set of habits, a set of customs, a set of traditions, Vancouver the way it was in 1950, if I assume the world is just like Vancouver was in the 1950s, then I feel I know how to do this. I'm okay. So long as I stay in my familiar routines, I have a sense of efficacy at least, or power at the most. When my world starts to crumble, like when I go out into that world and see things happening that are so bizarre and unpredictable, then if I've taken my stability from a stable world, and the world starts changing, then I lose my stability. I think that's the problem that we're up against right now, is people want a sense of their own stability, their own efficacy, and because they know they need it in a rapidly changing world.
Okay. And then how can they have the peace of mind with their version of stability? You know, that oh yeah, I'm not the weirdo. I've actually got a valid, good sense of reality. Whereas I think a lot of people are very suggestible. They're living in a lot of doubt. And then all of a sudden they read a new article. Oh, actually, what I assumed last week was wrong. So now do I have to have a new sort of, premises to live my life by, etc. I mean, yeah, that's always kind of stirring. But let's say with religion.
Just a second, I want to make sure I understand you. So you're saying that we live in a context of doubt,
Mm-hmm.
and so any new fact that comes along says, "Oh my God, my premises are all wrong, and I have to revise."
Or I can just rationalize and live in denial. I mean, I can do that too. But it's like there's always a flux around that, so that bacon is good, no, bacon is bad, or salt's good. I mean, all this dietary stuff is always in flux as to what's good or bad for you. Okay. And if the assumptions of me living my life are going the same way, then yeah, there's a vulnerability there. And at some point, we have to stop. That, I mean, I think that's the attractiveness about dogma. If I have a dogmatic belief,
Mm-hmm.
I just put on the brakes. Well, this is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So religion helps that way. That I'm on a mission from God. Well, it's stupid. Well, no, but it's a mission from God. So shut up. I'm doing it anyway. Oh, okay.
Or same with ideology.
Yeah.
If I hang out in my ideology, I feel like I've got it figured out.
Yeah.
I feel safe.
So I mean, where this comes up is in the environmentalist movement, right? Where the environmentalists who negotiated and were very respectful and tried to negotiate things to protect the environment lost. The environmentalists who were radical and tried to blow up things and sabotage construction sites that were building the awful dam or whatever they're doing, they go to jail. So if you go on the aggression route or the passive polite route, you both lose. So then what should I do if I'm going to be living as an environmentalist? And one essay I read said, you might as well go on the crazy side, be like the radical, at least, you're going to crash, and the crash on the side of good. So not that I'm a jihadist or I'm some fatalist, but if I'm Crazy Horse fighting white man taking over my village, I'm a hero. I'm Crazy Horse. Yes, he's got guns, and he'll ultimately win. But God damn it, I'm going to go down looking good.
Mm-hmm.
So if my ideology is such that who knows what's right or wrong, but by God, I'm righteous. I'm going to go down looking good. I'm on the side of what's good, and I lose. That's better.
Is there a question in there?
Well, no. I'm just sort of saying that the predicament is a bitch in that.
It is a bitch.
That okay, my peace of mind is short term. I don't know if you're suggesting. If I see you as a therapist, how am I going to get more peace of mind dealing with this panic, dealing with this self that lives in doubt?
Mm-hmm.
Or what are you going to do with me?
Yeah. I think we have to develop a capacity to bear our suffering. So the scenario you laid out, the environmentalist, that's a great scenario, because the passive way didn't work and the active way didn't work either, right? So I'm thinking about Margaret Atwood. I went and heard her talk one time, and she said every time she gives a talk afterwards, somebody comes up to her and says, I'm going crazy, I can't handle this. And she says, well, figure out what you can handle. Draw a rope, put a rope around what you can handle, and if you can handle that without going crazy, make the rope, go push the rope out a little further, take responsibility for more. If you can't handle where the rope is, pull the rope in a little bit. So you sort of move what you're able to care for according to your capacity that you've developed for caring. I think that's one response, but I feel a little bit like a politician in saying that, in that even her solution, you're going to live with some dis-ease, some background agitation. In your body, you're going to be feeling some sort of discomfort about the situation you're in. And I'm saying, and I'm not particularly happy with what I'm saying, is that you have to bear that.